I retired in 2006, and I was in Salt Lake City and came back to Pittsburgh to work with some kids on the north side, Urban Impact Foundation. And the very first meeting, one of the first meetings I was in, having come back, and I'm this retired Steeler, and I really have no idea what this ministry thing is going to look like with Urban Impact Foundation. And I'm in a meeting room with a guy named Brennan Gartner and about, 8 or 10 other people on the staff. And Pastor Glover was telling me about Brennan Gartner. And we end up in this room, and he has 6 kids going on 7, and I have 6 kids going on 7. And he had went to Penn State, and I had went to Penn State, and started having these things match up, and we ended up going on a conference together, and we were roommates. That just kind of made sense. And just our passion and desire was just so similar. It was amazing. It wasn't ironic at all. A year later, we ended up in a Bible study. I ended up in a Bible study led by Brennan Gartner and Leah Wisniewski. And that Bible study has changed my life, all the way up to even this past week, going to a Bible study with a group of men who care for each other like I've never experienced. And I personally believe very few men in all of the world, especially in the United States, care for each other, because it's a group of men that you can come there and be yourself. You don't have to put on this jacket, this football player jacket that, quite honestly, I kind of walk up here and I got to put on this Pittsburgh Steeler and Penn State Nittany Lion jacket and tell stories, and you kind of have to carry this facade. But when you walk into this Bible study, you don't have to do that. You can just be yourself. And even this past week, I shared an email with all of the guys in that Bible study, because I was going through a tough time with my 7 children and the fact that they don't ever want to be obedient, and I was just kind of discouraged about it. But I wasn't sharing that with anybody just right then. But the guy just right next to my left, and he's here tonight, as a matter of fact, he just asked me in the middle of it, he just said, "Jeff, is there something wrong with you?" And I got chills, and I even get chills right now saying that, because I was absolutely amazed how the Holy Spirit in that Bible study led by Brennan Gartner and Leah Wisniewski, and part of the Whitefields Foundation. It's a ministry of the Whitefields Foundation, and that's what you guys are all here supporting. The impact that place is having on my life and men throughout the city of Pittsburgh. That a guy that's sitting right next to me, who basically, I did kind of have on my jacket, like, "How's things going?" I was like, "Oh man, great, how you doing?" And then he could just tell something was wrong, and I left there and I thought, this is absolutely amazing. This year, my New Year's resolution, as a matter of fact, was to not miss that Tuesday morning Bible study this entire year, because that's how important it is to me. That's the goal that I had for this year. I missed the very first one because I was too busy with Urban Impact Foundation. And the men that are in that group, about 8 or 10 of those men are helping with Urban Impact Foundation, making an impact in young men's lives on the north side. There's probably 8 or 10 or 12 of those kids here tonight. A couple of those guys that you're going to hear about a little bit later tonight, one of them having been accepted into a college. And these men you're going to hear about, the difference that they're making in the Dominican Republic, and how a lot of these men have come back and they've just rededicated themselves, having dedicated themselves to doing good work for Jesus Christ, but having rededicated themselves to doing even more. I can't say enough for Brennan Gartner and Leah Wisniewski. And I even noticed tonight when Leah Wisniewski comes up here and speaks, everybody listens. He's kind of like Moses, and that's kind of how he is in our Bible study. He takes control, and he's kind of like Joe Paterno, a lot like Joe Paterno. I basically sit at the other end. I don't want to sit by him, mostly because I never do my homework, and God forbid you end up him finding out that you didn't do your homework, because then you can't ask any questions. A lot of you guys understand this. But just I would just say after tonight, just go away and know that what all of us have invested in tonight is something that's worth investing in. It won't be a change that you will not see. You will see the difference, I believe, in the city of Pittsburgh because of what Brennan Gartner and Leah Wisniewski are doing in the lives of men, because men are the leaders of our country. We need to be the leaders of our country. And I'm trying to lead men on the north side, mostly without fathers, into understanding what it means to become a man. But the reality is, in America, you don't have to watch very much news, don't have to watch very much TV, You don't have to read very many papers to understand that we have no clue in America what it means to be a man. But we got two guys that are dedicating their lives to teaching me what it means to be a man and a lot of other men in Pittsburgh. And that's what you guys are investing in. It is a great investment. So thank you very much. Have a good night.